Welcome to our weekly Wednesday Facebook live tutorial, streaming into YouTube, LinkedIn, and also our Facebook group, and also on Instagram. If you're joining me the very first time, my name is May Yo Silvers. I'm the owner of M2 Hospitality, a multiple six-figure profit event planning company, and also the founder, event mentor, and coach for Events for Anyone, where we provide a mentorship program called the Unstoppable Eventrepreneur to help event planners like you to start and grow your event planning company into a multiple six-figure profit business. If you're joining me on Facebook, make sure that you click the StreamYard link that you see when you join, so I can see your name. If not, just type your name so I know that you are here with me. Today, I started very promptly at 12 p.m. because we have quite a few things to cover, and I have to end promptly at 12:30 as I need to coach inside our mentorship program. Today's topic will be how to have a game plan when you're starting your email campaign. So what do you do with all those emails that you have collected and how to get those emails? That's what I'll be teaching inside our mentorship program today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. And okay, so for those of you who are here with me, just know that I have a little bit of a nasal drip, very bad throat, and the allergy here is not doing so good here. So having a little bit of allergy and a sore throat, so I'm taking in some lozenges. Okay, so if you are saying hello May to me on Facebook, I'm not seeing your name unless you click the StreamYard link. Just make sure you either type your name so I know you're here with me. Okay, now today we want to talk about a case study of some of my friends who are in the events field. Okay, I would say one of them retired. They couldn't take it anymore. And then another one is still in the business, but back to corporate world. So, and then another one, same thing. So I'm going to share with you a case study of some of my friends, close friends of mine. Okay, and one of them is a business acquaintance who are who have very successful events business. One of them is a full production company. Okay, a full production company, if I break it down, it's like those of you who just started your events business where you buy a lot of inventory. Okay, you buy a lot of inventory and you decide to be the florist, you decided to be the backdrop person, you decide to be the balloon installation person, you decide to be the person who rents out your tables and chairs, your linens. So they are full production. Okay, so this friend of mine used to own a full production company, and I would say probably 3 years or more, no more than 5 years into the business, she had to shut down the business. She sold all her inventory and then got a job in the corporate world. Okay, got a job in the corporate world. And then another friend of mine has an event production company, same thing, same scenario with all this inventory. And then decided that it doesn't make sense in terms of profit to actually own all this inventory and all this labor and the florists as well. So they decided to just not provide all those services anymore and just be what we call an experiential agency, where they create the experience, the look, the design, and then they subcontract it out to all these production company. So they no longer own all this inventory anymore because it doesn't make sense. Okay, so now I have two concrete examples to share with you. Every time you hear me say that do not own inventory, I didn't just make this crap up. Okay, I have real life story of people who were in the business who shared job, and then what happened? It ate into their profit so much that they had to shut down the business for one of my friend. The other one had to completely revamp their business model to offer just the experience, the design, the planning, and then subcontract everything else. So this is real business. Now, this company that subcontract everything out now is a multi-million business. Okay, how do I know? Because I used to do business development for them. And then after that, well, at the last 6 months before I left the company, they're going through the whole transition. So I saw everything from the inside. Okay, but today we're going to talk about this another friend of mine, okay, who started their business, I would say 2.5 years ago. All right, 2.5 years ago, and same thing, one-stop shop, buy a lot of inventory, very creative, have a lot of event designs, do their own decoration, hire someone to help to set up as well because they cannot manage. Business is looking really, really good. Okay. After they officially launched 2.5 years ago, and then all this money started coming in, I would say 9 months into the business. So it's like, okay, so I know I quit my full-time job. I'm going all in into my business. Okay. Going all in into my business. And because the money is coming in, a lot of money is coming in. It's not something that they're used to. So one thing for those of you who have a full-time job, okay, who works in corporate, who have a full-time job, when you're so used to getting a paycheck, so your paycheck is always a steady amount of money, correct? If let's say you make $5,000 a month, so you're used to seeing $5,000 a month, right? Every single month. So you know this is only this much you can spend, correct? Because you need to pay your bills, how much you can put away for shopping, for vacation, whatever, you know. But when you're your own business owner, okay, and you see all these checks coming in, all right, 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, 8,000, all right, you see all these checks coming in. So they can be like many, many different checks in a month because you're doing a lot of events. This is exactly what happened. All right. This is a real life example. I do not want to share the names of my friends to protect the identity, but they know this is what I do. I coach event planners to start and grow the event planning company into a multiple six-figure profit business. And they know that this story that I'm sharing is going to help them. Okay. So this is exactly what happened. So they book a lot of events, 8, 10 events a month. All right. Now, some of you are thinking, I don't have this problem because I'm not getting booked. Listen, when you're not getting booked, right? When no money is coming in is one problem. When you have a lot of money coming in and you don't know how to manage that, that's a bigger problem. Okay. So when you're not getting all this money coming in, you're used to it because you never had any to begin with. So there's really not much to do. But when suddenly you have all this money coming in, you don't know what to do. And there's so many mistakes being made. And I'm only naming these 3. And in this case study, this particular one that had to go back to look for a job, okay, is there are many, many other examples, but this is as real as it gets. So then you get all these people booking you, right? So you have a check of maybe a deposit of $1,500. The other one, a deposit of $2,500. Another one, a deposit of $500. So there are all these checks coming in, right? If you don't take the time to calculate, okay, to actually have a report that shows this money is actually coming in this month, the month for the month, okay? You book these events, and these events may have 2 to 3 payment terms. Okay, could be this month they pay this much, 3 months before the event they pay this much, the month before the event they pay this much. You got to be able to track how much money is actually coming in. It doesn't matter how much event you sign up, okay, because that's the total value of the contract. The total value of the contract, unless it's they pay payment in full from the moment they sign up with you, then that's great. Then there's nothing to track. It's the month for the month. But if your contract has got more than one deposit schedule, okay, then you have to know okay, for the month of August, I'm collecting $1,500 for this contract. I'm collecting a $2,000 for this contract. I'm collecting a $500 for this contract, or I'm collecting nothing, even though you have signed up some stuff, okay, but they don't pay you until God knows when, based on your deposit schedule. Then if you don't have a good handle of how much money is actually coming in, that's a problem. So in this case study, okay, in this scenario, this friend of mine, they are overjoyed. All this money is coming in. A lot of money is coming in. All these different checks, okay, more than what they used to make in corporate, okay, assuming that they made $5,000 in corporate, all right, and you got more than $5,000 coming in that month. So be like, oh, I have surplus. What do you do with the surplus? And again, I'm not BSing, okay? They use the surplus to pay off some of their debts, personal debts. They use the surplus to buy more inventory, because now they're thinking that, oh, we're getting booked, we have a lot more inquiries, so let's beef up. We have a lot more inquiries, so let's beef up our inventory so we can create more looks. So they spend a lot of money on inventory, all right? And then they also spend money on themselves. They go shopping, they go on vacation. How many of you, I may not be able to get some response here because some of you are quite new looking at the people who are joining me. If you can relate to that, let me know. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. It could be something that you're not used to. Suddenly there's an influx of money coming in, and then you start going crazy. That's why there's this case study being done. Those people who had no money, and then they win the lottery. And then within 3 years, they're bankrupt. That's exactly the same problem. Okay, you don't know how to manage money. So in this case study, this friend of mine, they start spending money. Okay, and it's not just that 1 month. It continued, okay, for the next 10 months. Every single month, great business. Okay, next 10 months, money coming in. Woo, we're doing so good. Start spending. And then I make a joke. I say, hey, listen, you guys are doing so good. Congratulations. You see any money in your bank? And, because we're close, so we can talk openly like that. They say, no. I say, what the F happened? Because we are close, I can drop my F-bomb. I said, what happened? I thought you have all this money coming in. Where's the money? They say that, wow, we bought a lot of inventory. Okay, we bought a lot of inventory. We also went on trips and we went to pay bills. You all went to pay bills as well. So we used the money for paying our own personal debt, clearing our own personal debt, went on trips and bought a lot of inventory. I said, okay. He said, business is still coming in, so we're good. All right. 2023. How many of you is feeling that the inquiries are getting dry? It's slowing. The economy is slowing. I can definitely feel it. Okay. So all of a sudden, the business is getting dry. Not seeing as many checks coming in. Not seeing as, so everything is a little slow, right? Not seeing as many checks coming in, everything's a little slow. So the next thing I knew, I catching up with them and say, hey, how's it going? How's business? And I got a text message that I have to go back to find a job. I have to find a job because the business is slow. I said, what do you mean you have to find a job? Okay, you have this company. It was running so well for the past 10 months. Okay, you even have money to go on trips to pay your debts. And now you're telling me that suddenly the business is slow. You have to go find a job? What happened? And then they say that there's no more money in the bank. Okay, they use up all their money. They use up all the money sitting in inventory that they cannot even use because there's no inquiries coming in. Inquiries is very slow. So the amount of business coming in is no longer able to support paying the business bills, okay? Let alone their personal bills. So they're not able to support whatever business bills that they have incurred in at this point will be storage. Okay. At this point, it would be the help that they have hired, all right, the VA, whatever, and whatever investment that they have invested in their business. I don't want to go into that. And then they realize that there's no money to pay their personal bills. Okay. So this is a perfect scenario of having this illusion. So I asked them, I said, it's interesting because we talk often, and I always tease them. I say, are you, now that you quit your full-time job, okay, almost 3 years ago, you quit your full-time job, because remember, right, during COVID, nobody's spending money because there's no money to be spent in terms of, there's nowhere to spend the money. You can't travel. So you can't travel. You can't go out to eat. So there's a surplus of money. So it all get accumulated, and then the government funding this and that. Okay. So when we finally get the opportunity to spend money, okay, that was in 2021, maybe to half of 2022. So people were spending money on events. People now have this extra cash that they save up during COVID, okay, to spend money. Now we are going back to normal, all right? 2023, yeah, inquiries are still coming in. But now the response, the inquiry rate coming in has slowed down, okay? Because there's no pent up gap anymore. We have been going back to normal since, I would say, mid of 2021. So slowly, we're going back to where it was before COVID. So now the money is finally stabilizing. The request is finally stabilizing. So whatever we are experiencing now is how it was before COVID. But we forgot about that. We thought that it's always going to be the good old days of 2021 and 2022, where there's a surplus of money. No, it's not. So as a business owner, you need to be responsible about your numbers from the get-go. So when I was in 2022, was a fantastic year for us. Fantastic. So there's a lot of surplus of money. So what did I do with this surplus of money? Like, do I spend on trips? Do I pay personal debts? All these things, I don't have any debts. So do I spend on trips? Yes. Do I spend on shopping? Yes. But first, what did I do? I make sure I look at for 2023, okay, what are the expenses that I need to incur for my business? Okay, what are the expenses that I'm going to be incurring for my business? Expenses that I have to pay regardless whether money is coming in or not. So I look at my business expense. I look at the salary that I need to pay myself so that I can pay my own bills, right? And the profit that I want to keep, okay, in case of rainy days, my working capital. So I look at all that, and I spend it in 2022 for the things that I'm going to spend for 2023, just like my PR agency, my ads agency, my coach fee, right? The coach that I hire to coach me along, I paid them everything at the end of 2022, okay? So that I reduce my tax bracket of getting taxed. So I paid them all in 2022 for 2023 services. So I know 2023, I'm sitting good. Even if zero money is coming in, I still don't have to worry so much about these bills because I've already paid for it in 2022. So if 2023 is slow, and I already projected that 2023 is going to be slow. So 2023 is going to be slow. I know that I only need to make this much money instead of this much money to be able to survive and still be a CEO of my business and not having to go back to work. So when I started M2 Hospitality, those of you heard my story, okay? When I started M2 Hospitality, I was doing cold call sales, trying to get business because I left my corporate without a safety net. And then once I found my two clients, I focused 100% on fulfilling the events instead of continue to build the pipeline. So after I finished servicing the events, I realized that, oh my God, I'm eating into my savings now because I already used the money. Okay, I used the money from those 2 events, and now I have to eat into my savings because I don't have any gigs coming up. So I didn't do my numbers. So in this case, I asked my friends, I said, did you look at your numbers and determine how much money do you need to make every single month? Okay, how much money do you need to have in your bank every single month so that you know that this amount of money is able to pay for your business bills for this month, able to pay for your personal bills, okay, which AKA you pay your salary, you pay yourself a salary, and the salary goes to pay your personal bills, okay? So I consider that as a business bills. So do you have enough money in your business bank account, okay, to pay your business bills, which is different categories of your salary, and also your mandatory bills that you're paying every single month, like all your subscription, like your website domain, if you hire a social media manager, your VA, all these things, your car, if you're using your car as a business expense, your phone, all these things. So they said, no, we just know that it's more than what we were getting at corporate, okay? So we know that we have surplus. This is an illusion. Huh? As long as we're getting paid more than what we used to get at corporate, that means we have extra money. But don't forget, you have now a business expense. When you're working in corporate, your only expense is your personal expense. But when you own your own business, it's no longer just your personal expense. You have business expense as well. Okay? So now even though you're making more money as a CEO of your business, the sales is coming in, your expenses also went up. So if you have no idea how much money is coming in, okay, and how much money is going out every single month, if you have no idea how much money you need to have every single month inside your bank account to pay all these bills so you can live and eat and have a shelter and still have your business going, then you're flying blind, which is exactly what happened. Now, they didn't feel that they're flying blind because they're extremely optimistic about the sales coming in. So they had a good run. So they didn't have to worry too much. So they're under the illusion that things are doing very well. So I don't really have to look at my numbers, right? There's only 2 things that can happen, that people don't look at numbers. There's no business, so there's no numbers to look at, or you are dreading to look at the business because you are a realization that I'm not making any money. And then the other conclusion is I'm making so much money, I don't even have to look at the numbers because I'm making so much money. Okay, I know that whatever money is coming in is going to be more than whatever money is going out. Okay, this is 100% false. Okay, I know that for a fact. False. So you have to know, even though the business is coming in very good, okay, this month, next month, the 3rd month, but you are in it full time right now. We're not looking at just 3 months. Okay, you are a full-time CEO. You're looking at many years. So every sale sometimes takes 3 to 6 months to develop one sale, depending on the buying cycle of your people, depending on your marketing, depending on how strong you are in building your pipeline. If you're slacking, you're in the shits. Okay? So if you're not marketing because you're so busy trying to fulfill all these events that you have booked, that means your pipeline is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And it will come to a point that you're dry. After the 3rd month, no more leads because you were not busy building your pipeline in those 3 months. So the next 3 months, you got nothing. So when you look at your funds, okay, when I look at my funds last year, I was like, do I have enough? Do I have enough to last for how long? Do I have enough to last for the whole month or the whole year of 2023? Now, that's super conservative. So I would just say that, okay, I will need to have at least this much, at least, to pay my own bills, okay, to pay for 1 or 2 help, okay, and then everything else, I have to go make that money. I have to go make that money to make it work. So you need to know what is that baseline. What is that baseline of money that you need to have in your bank account every single month. Just like when you're in corporate, you need to know how much money you need to make every single month to pay your bills, right? It's no different when you are your CEO of your company. You need to know how much money you need to have in your business bank account to pay your personal bills, okay, through your salary, and to pay your business mandatory bills, and also to make a profit. So if you don't have a sales projection, okay, how much money is coming in, how much money more needs to come in for the next 3 to 6 months, then you are in trouble, because you are stuck in the now. Your whole head, your eyes, everything is stuck in the now, looking at the now numbers. In business, it's no longer the now. In business, is the next 3, 6, 9, 1 year, 18 months, 2 years down the road. So if this is something that you are reluctant to do, you have to ask yourself, why? Why am I reluctant to look at all these numbers? It's not your relationship with money. It's your relationship with numbers. Does it overwhelm you? It's very simple. How much money do you need to live, to pay your bills? How much money do you need to make in your business? Okay, so if let's say you only need $5,000 a month and your business is bringing in 10,000, perfect for this month. That means you have reserved for the next month. Okay, the next month, is there any more money coming in? But you know that you already have the $5,000 there. Is there any more money coming in to pay for the third month, the fourth month? Now, this is like living paycheck to paycheck, okay? Bad example. You want to be able to be like, okay, for this month, I have $20,000 coming in. So I know each month I need only 5,000. So this month is able to float me for until April. Okay, so February, how much money is coming in? It cannot be zero, even though you already have $5,000 to pay your bills. It has to be some money coming in so you can float to May, June, July, March. How much money is coming in? You already know that you have money to pay for March bill. How much money do you have to float for August, September, December? This is how you plan, okay? So now, it's really not that complex, all right, that I make it sound. But if you think about it, if you listen to this video again, it's really not that complex. It's called projection, okay? Budgeting, right? Family budgeting, family expense budgeting. How much money coming in? How much money going out? How much money do we have to let us float for how many months until we have to hit the emergency button? Just like that. Anyways, so if numbers is what is swirling in your head and you're thinking, can I actually quit my job to go full-time into my business? How much money do I actually need to go full-time into my business? Once I get into the business, how do I do all this projection, right? How do I do all this projection? How do I make sure that I price myself for profit? How do I know what services are going to bring me money so that I can continue to have profit sustainability? These are just a few things that we'll be covering next Thursday in our Business Finance 101 session. Okay, August 17 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. So this one is a ticketed event. It's not free because it's going to be a long session, at least I would say 90 minutes, 2 hours, depending on how many questions are being asked. So I will go over scenarios, and we will write down, we will be doing work. Okay, so at the end of that session, you will know how much money you need to have in reserve in order to quit your job, to go full-time, and how much time you have to actually sit in your business without making any sales before we hit the panic button. Okay, so we'll be going over that. We'll be going over pricing, of course. We'll be going over how do you evaluate if your business is actually making money, how much more money you need to make in order to hit your profit goal, all these things. So that is on August 17, 2023, next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. Early bird already started on Wednesday and last Wednesday, okay? And it ends this coming Sunday. It's $67 for this early bird sale. And then after this Sunday, it will be $97. You get a recording of that session. You also get a one-on-one call, okay? It will be me doing a one-on-one call with you, all right? So you get a free one-on-one call, and that one-on-one call has to be scheduled no later than 1 week after the event, because I want to have the numbers fresh so that we can go over your numbers, okay? So you get a one-on-one call, and you also get the recording of the video. Clients inside my mentorship program, which is the Academy, Unstoppable Eventrepreneur Academy, Unstoppable Eventrepreneur Launchpad, and Unstoppable Eventrepreneur, you get to access this for free. Everybody else is $67, early bird until Sunday. So if this is what you want to attend, send me a DM or send your concierge a DM. For those of you inside the Facebook group, in IG, LinkedIn, YouTube, reach out to me and I will send you the payment link for that. Okay. Thank you so much for your time today. And I will talk to you all again next Wednesday. For clients inside my mentorship program, please hop into Zoom. We're going to talk about the game plan when developing an email campaign. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.